Drake Maye. If there ever was a time to not search yourself on Twitter, right now for Drake Maye. Now I know he probably doesn't do that sort of thing anyway, but block it right now. Because he is getting absolutely bombarded by analysts, so-called experts, and everybody else about his NFL draft stock. Merrill Hodge said he's not even a first-round pick. Said he's a second-round prospect.
Bruh.
Has him well behind Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and the guys he's been grouped with for a long time. Now, Merrill Hodge, obviously, played in the NFL for a long time, part of NFL matchup for a long time. He's been alongside Greg Cosell. He's been alongside Jaworski and all those guys. So it's not a completely discredited source, right? There are some sources out there that have just absolutely wiped the floor with Drake Maye, and I can easily write it off and go, well, I just don't know who you are. You hide behind an avatar, and I don't have to concern myself with you. But when it's Hodge and when it's others, and it's Kurt Benkert, who's a former backup quarterback for the Packers that's gotten into the whole social media video breakdowns, when he is he compared Drake Maye to Mason Rudolph with less arm strength. That's coming from a former NFL quarterback. Why is all of a sudden this happening? I'll tell you why. I know why. I've seen it happen year after year after year. It's prospect fatigue, and for some reason it's at an all-time high with Drake Maye right now. You talk about a guy long enough, you say all the nice things you have in your vocabulary, so you have to go somewhere and you start saying the negatives. And because Drake burst onto the scene with such aggression last year, remember the first 5-6 games, we're talking his sophomore year, and he was already a kind of buzzworthy, mysterious prospect, from his freshman year, backing up Sam Howell. It's everybody was, he's the next big thing, he's the next big thing, he's the next big thing. And then it was well, I've said all the nice things I can say, so I guess I'll come up with some bad things. And also, how do you get your clicks up? You don't get clicks up by praising Drake Maye, because everybody else is doing it. It's really funny because the thing that divides it for me is a gut feeling. Sometimes people agree with the masses, and I go, I don't even know if they watched anything. They're just safely hiding in groupthink, right? But then sometimes people agree with the masses, and I'm going well, yeah, there's a reason why the masses think that. Everybody watch Caleb Williams and Drake Maye are really, really good quarterbacks. You can say that publicly without ever watching a game that either of them have ever played in, because you've just seen and heard it so many times. You're pretty confident you won't get caught with your metaphorical pants down, going look at that. You said Drake Maye was good, because you can hide behind the fact that everybody else said it too. But then when somebody doesn't say that, I go, wait a second. There's a reason why everybody thinks he's great. There's a reason why groupthink is here. Here's the thing that's really confusing me, and here's why I think it's very much just prospect fatigue. The things he's being criticized for right now are not super deep. If there was some very specific, hard to see thing that you needed to watch a lot of film to pick up on and you really had to pour through it, okay. But the thing he's getting killed for is he likes to improv and play backyard style too much. Oh, his ball placement isn't elite yet. Oh, all of the, I'm going wait a second. You could watch one college football game, the TV copy, and you'd see both of those. Why are you surprised by it now? Right? Oh, I dove into the film and turns out he likes to play a backyard improv style. I'm well, yeah. Did you think that maybe was the case when he threw it left-handed in the middle of a ACC game? Or was your head under a rock? And if your head was under a rock during football season, not sure I'm going to love your football opinions. Daniel Jeremiah is one of the draftnik gurus that gets a lot of play. It's the McShays, it's the Kuipers, it's the Matt Millers, it's Daniel Jeremiah. He's kind of the NFL.com, NFL Network version. Here's 2 things he has Drake Maye can do before the draft.
loves to compete. He's out there with.
We'll give that one another go. All right, Dennis is going to get that one figured out. This is why. Okay, and we're going to get to all of it. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save that thought. So stick a pin in that one. We're going to hear from Daniel Jeremiah right now.
I thought there were times this year compared to last year where he got a little elongated, a little long with his delivery. I know they've been working on that. So that would be the physical thing I'm looking forward to seeing, whether that's at the Combine or his pro day, just seeing if he's been able to tighten that up a little bit. And then the second thing is going to be just meeting with teams. I think it'll be helpful for him to explain some things, because when I watch the tape, I have questions of just, man, he gets a lot of unblocked pressures and there doesn't seem to be answers, whether that's, a hot route, whether that's in terms of what they're doing protection wise to help him out. That's something when you're watching tape, I'm watching it going, man, I would love to sit down with him and kind of go through this and say, did they give you the answers here? Is this something you could have done here? Is this something on the outside that wasn't corrected? I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of times where I'm watching him with pressure in his face and I freeze it and I'm like, I don't know where the heck he's supposed to go with this thing. So that'll be something that he can help himself just by being able to go through that tape and explain it to teams. But the ability, the size, the arm strength, the athleticism, the playmaking stuff, it's all there.
Here's the part that strikes me. First of all, I don't disagree with a lot of what Daniel Jeremiah said there. The part I would add is many of the times when those unblocked defenders were coming through, he was still able to make a play, right? There was no answer there. He created an answer, whether that was him scrambling on his own, whether it was making a guy miss and then finding someone downfield who wasn't a traditional hot route. He still was able to overcome that a decent amount. But the other thing I want to say is the NFL has learned recently that you take the guy with the unusual tools. Josh Allen completed 56% of his passes at Wyoming. Jalen Hurts had questions. Lamar Jackson had questions, right? These guys, you take the guy with the crazy physical tools, and there actually is a pattern now of them learning how to do the nuanced quarterback stuff in the NFL. For years and years, it didn't seem like it could be taught, but as of late, it has been. As of late, it has been. So if it's like, oh, he's not setting up his protections correctly, maybe there is a learning curve that he can go track down. And maybe he's learning it from a crosstown rival. Guess who Drake Maye is working with in his pre-draft process? North Carolina State Wolfpack legend Phillip Rivers. Here's Drake Maye on the Adam Schefter Pod.
Loves to compete. He's out there with throwing, 6-step outs, like a 10-yard drill thrown into the net. And he retired for 2 or 3 years ago, and he still won the competition. So he's just a competitor. And just not like that, he's just one of the guys. He gets along with people so well and knows the game. He's a little bit in the digit system, with San Diego. So just picking his brain on that. I know there's a little bit of different systems in the NFL. So just trying to be a sponge, ask him questions, ask him what it likes. I think the biggest thing about Phillip was he stayed healthy for so long through his career. Such a long career, and I think he played 17 games for some crazy stat, 15 straight years or something. So just picking brain how he stayed healthy, and he's a big dude like me, so just trying to kind of find ways to relate to him. And both ACC guys. I know he went to the wrong school in the ACC, but some of that same stuff. So just trying to pick his brain. One of the great quarterbacks.
Two things. One, nice little jab there, right? Went to the wrong school. Ha, ha, ha. Two, you also admitted that he beat you in the throwing competition, so maybe that's one that the state fans are gonna hold over your head. Three, I actually kind of like the relationship. I hadn't thought about it, but Phillip Rivers, like you said, big, tall, strong guy, played a long time in the NFL, played in kind of the pro-style offenses out there in San Diego and then L.A. and then Indianapolis. So that's all stuff that he can pass on to Drake, and dadgummit, golly darn, he's going to tell it to you straight, right? He's going to let you know which protections you need to know and everything else. So I think it's good. I think Drake Maye, is he a surefire, Hall of Famer of a draft pick? No. Is there such thing that exists? Also, no. Is he deserving of whatever this backlash has been as of late as a prospect? No. Is he going to be a top 5 pick? I would almost guarantee it. So saying he's got a second round grade, I don't know, maybe he'll try to hide that when he goes in 4th or 3rd or 2nd overall. And I don't know what that was about.